So happy Saturday, everyone. Yuan, I just sent you a video. Um, so just, but in the meanwhile, I'll do the overview and then we'll play that video. Um, so happy Saturday, everyone. Glad that we are here in Satsang. Today I woke up thinking about, you know, uh, I mean, in some ways, um, you know, I have not done justice to introducing people who have um, established my grandfather and people who followed established satsang and those who uh, basically embodied the transcendental energy through this process and achieved some very uh, instead of calling it extraordinary state, I would say a state that is very uncommon. Uh, because I saw as I was growing up, uh, you know, uh, multiple personalities who were, um, you know, kind of following this process, leading people to the next stage, and demonstrating what that target state um, looks like in their own lives. So I think that's the video. So instead of introducing each one of those people, I just recorded a video which kind of describes that state that satsang takes you to. Um, but in the meanwhile, so what is satsang? So if we literally translate it, it is uh, to be with. Sang is to be with, and sat is, for lack of better terms, transcendental energy. So to be with transcendental energy is satsang. Unlike materialistic things and things in the world which keep changing, even sometimes very slowly, sometimes very rapidly, but the change is all around us. And every time we, you know, connect with things that are changing, uh, you know, that perception keeps changing. So instead of connecting ourselves to something that is changing, this transcendental energy is something that transcends the world and hence um, is something that we can connect to and stay, that is uh, not just uplifting, positive, etc., and encapsulate gratitude, love, light, peace, and so on and so forth. But it is something that transcends this whole. So connecting through this meditation to that state is to get ourselves to that state. So embody that state. Easier said than done, of course. So for that, there are multiple parts, like service is integral to satsang. That also I haven't talked that much about. Meditation is at the core of satsang, which we will practice. Inward orientation is integral part of that meditation. So this meditation is very, or somewhat different from lots of other meditations, which have outer activity. Instead, this is inner pursuit. So very, it's like if mind needs to be concentrated, you can give it a toy, an activity, or thought, that it gets wrapped around. Let's call that concentration of mind. So typically, mind gets concentrated on an activity much sooner. So typically, those come first, but that is um, outer satsang or activity based meditation. But then this is more inward oriented, inner pursuit, um, focused on inward orientation and concentration within. Again, we have to still bring the mind from multitudes of thoughts to one thought. And here it is to find that peace with. Um, well, I'm getting the feedback. So next thing that is, uh, as I was growing up with this process, one thing that is far more integral is group sessions or so satsang is to be with transcendental energy, but when you embody that energy as a group, the group's collective energy helps each other. That is, you know, um, so uh, I've said this many times. For me, group sessions were the lifeline, and group sessions have a multiplier effect on your individual practice. So you have to have an individual practice, but um, you know, uh, group sessions can support, supplement, complement, your individual practice. And typically, um, you know, uh, so anyway, and that all leads to joy and inner happiness. And that is typically very, very easily attained through this process. Um, it's joy and happiness, which inner happiness is happiness that is not attached to any outer materialistic things or status, etc. So as you practice satsang, your inner happiness level keeps increasing. And that could be one of the measures if this is working for you or not. Another measure is the behavior itself. So if your behavior, you yourself can see that the needle is moving in the right direction in terms of behavior, and what the current research also says is your behavior then impacts, physically your mind, the neuroplasticity, and so you will see that not only the behavior is changing, but because of that, your perception, your depth and breadth in terms of uh, the states that you achieve, um, higher states through satsang, get deeper, and the joy and inner happiness levels keep increasing, henceforth. Okay, um, so let's talk about the target state that we can achieve through satsang. And this video is dedicated to all the people um, that I respect, those who have been my mentors, guide, and folks who have inspired me to be here today with you. You want?
I think it would be appropriate to talk about the destination a little more. Satsang is also a process, and satsang is also a destination. So, what is satsang, that destination? So, in scriptures, there is a description about Sat Chit Anand. That I would call the target state. The Sat, which is positive energy or something that doesn't change. So to me, that transcendental energy and becoming one with it is satsang. And that is the first part of Satchidanand, Sat. So being in union, being in presence of transcendental energy is one part of the target state. The second part is chit. Now, chit is another word which probably doesn't have a clear equivalent in English, but maybe we can think of it as subconscious mind or unconscious mind. I can very simply describe or illustrate the difference between the mind and the subconscious mind. Chit is the peaceful part of the mind. Now, how do we understand that? Let's say you look at the ocean. The surface of the ocean has tremendous waves. And sometimes they're so powerful, then enormous and huge ships would sink because of that turbulence. And scriptures have described that world is like that ocean, Bhavsagar, where these waves never stop. But the same ocean, if you go deeper. So I actually watched a documentary where a scientist actually goes in a capsule very, very, very deep into the ocean. When you go deeper into the ocean, what you find is that there are no more waves, and there is like stillness of the kind that cannot be imagined at the surface of the same ocean. So you are in the ocean, but not on the surface. You are way deep in there. The deeper you go, the more calmer, quieter, and still it gets. That's the same with you. That's the same with us. The deeper we go into our mind, that's called chit here, and that's where peace lives. So to find peace, you have to go deeper within us. To Sat, the transcendental energy we need to be one with. Chit, which is the deep I, the depth within which the deep meditation will take you. That's where peace is. And what will that bring? Anand, or joy. So basically, be energized by the cosmic energy, be at peace, and be, in a state of constant joy. That's our target state. That's where satsang takes you. Satsang basically is also to be with someone who is in that state, and because it is an infectious state. This target state is very infectious. So in the sense that if you achieved that target state, everyone around you will be affected by it without any effort on your part. And that's what Guru Maharaj did, and that's what you can do if we continue to pursue the path, the 5 steps towards inner peace. The target state will take us there. Another way that I would like to describe it is in the 5 steps, the 5 realms that describe the path to inner peace. The first two are they're still early parts of the journey where you have to change your direction. Your desires and emotions have to be controlled through practices and other ways and means, which satsang helps you with. Yam and niyam would help you with. Asanas and pranayams will help you with. But then at the top of the third realm, you will find light. So the fourth realm essentially is all about light, knowledge. Fifth realm is about love and compassion and unconditional giving, unconditional love that knows no limits. And then you reach the top of the pyramid or top of these five realms, which is the zone of everlasting peace. So light, fourth realm, love, fifth realm, and beyond that is the zone of peace. So light, love, and peace can also be described as the target state.
So let's practice that. So inward orientation requires that, we turn our focus from the outer world towards the inside. And to do that, there's some very simple tricks. One, stay still. So still and relaxed posture is one. Eyes lightly closed, because sensory input distracts your mind. Every time your body moves, that distracts your mind. So still and relaxed posture, eyes lightly closed. And now we concentrate on this transcendental energy in form of light. And this light is entering our heart and distributing throughout our body. And we are becoming one with this light. When mind wanders away, which it will, so another aspect of inward orientation is every time you find that your mind has wandered away somewhere, instead of focusing or concentrating on this transcendental energy. So basically, we want to take our mind away from everything else and just feel that we are in the presence of this transcendental energy in form of light. That light is entering our heart, enlightening our heart, and then distributing throughout our body. And we are becoming one with this light. So we are becoming the light. We are completely and totally immersed in this light. So barrage of thoughts, bring them to just this observation of transcendental energy. So before we go deep into silent meditation on transcendental energy, to help concentration, we'll start with music. So it's transition in with music. We'll go, then music fades away. We go in deep silent meditation, and then, we will transition out again with music. So one more time, eyes lightly closed, still and relaxed posture, and then feel the presence of this transcendental energy. You can take any source of your choice, your faith, conscious source of this transcendental energy, where it's in the form of light. That light is entering your heart, enlightening it, and then distributing throughout our body. We are becoming completely and totally immersed in this light. mind wanders away, bring it back. We'll start music. Let's start now. This is more of the interactive time. You can feel free to ask questions, comments, and thoughts on, uh, what we talked about earlier or the practice itself. Um, feel free to unmute or put the video on. Um, but before we get to that, today I was thinking about, so Guru Maharaj had three sons, two daughters. My father was the youngest. My middle uncle used to manage the press that Guru Maharaj established in the 30s. And so the monthly journal, and a lot of books that Guru Maharaj wrote, I still wonder how he, with his travels and all the things that he did, how he found time for all those books in Hindi. So my one thing I was remembering today is like, we see a lot of people um, getting consumed by anger. We can see the vibrations and the energy that comes out of person who's angry. But he had a very uncanny capability. So if I was to describe that, he would be talking to someone about some deep spiritual things or, normal stuff. And then because he was, I think, quote unquote, the administrator of, uh, the Satsang family. So he had to take care of that too. Um, uh, what I found was that he would get angry on someone, and few minutes later, you will find him talking about spiritual things, normal things. So the switch between the state of anger and the normal state was like almost instantaneous. So if I look at that, he was using anger as a tool to send out a message one way and then flip and talk about other things as though nothing had happened. Um, just that control. Um, I mean, so I was saying that I have seen things that are so uncommon. This would be an example. Um, and there's so many other things, but anyway. Um, Questions, thoughts, comments, and so Luz, maybe, how are you?
Good morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. I am well. As always, it is a blessing to be able to join your group. It's a wonderful reset for the week. Today, my thoughts were very sticky, so my ability to really concentrate today has been difficult. But that's okay. I suppose that's normal during the course of one's life, even if they dedicate time to meditate on a regular basis. What your last comments were regarding anger and how meditation can really help. I fully believe that. I really think that meditation is the antidote to anger. And I mean, anger is a normal and human response, but most of the time the reactions it produces aren't helpful. It's just not helpful to anybody. And so if there's a way to diffuse it, meditation is the best way. And I think it actually does work. Like when I find myself, and that goes for anxiety too.
Yeah.
Like when I find myself getting anxious during the work week, or angry, I have to like really either shut my door if I'm in the office or just go offline for a good, it just takes 5 minutes to, calm your mind and meditate in silence. And after those 5 minutes, it may not be completely gone, but it's turned down several notches. So it's really, really helpful. And I know of programs where I remember I liked a particular yoga instructor that I saw in some program, and she was going to like the prisons. Not that people in prison are perennially angry, but people who have had like issues with aggression that unfortunately resulted in this situation that they're in. And I thought that was such a great thing she was doing, a great service to the community, to go and meditate with them, and because there's a lot of suffering in prison too. So so anyway, those are my thoughts on what you had said.
Yes, somehow this triggered to, I think I had read a story about, anger. And so a Zen master, was talking to one of the disciples who was very, very angry, almost consumed with anger, and was asking for advice. Um, and so they were sitting by a bonfire, and he said, like, so there was coal burning, and he said, like, can you with your hands lift up some of the pieces of coal from that fire? And he said, like, wow, he was just staring at the master and saying, like, why would I do that? I'll burn myself. And he says, like, you're doing exactly the same. Your anger is burning you from within. So that that was very illustrative.
That is a great analogy.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was so illustrative, that why would somebody do that? But I mean, I have personally known people who would, um, burn with or get consumed with this anger for years. And people who, um, you know, are very quote unquote normal people. So this can happen to any one of us.
That's true. I mean, I have a new job now. It's not so new. I'm coming on a year now, and I love this job. It is so much better than every other job I've ever had. And anger is, yeah, I'm so thankful. Anger is less and less in this job. I don't experience that the way I did in previous jobs. But it still comes up, and it is normal. And sometimes anger has its uses. I
Yes,
will venture
absolutely.
to say, right, if there's like serious social inequity, like, but you have to like transform that anger into a different kind of energy that is, constructive, right? And that's hard, actually, when you're very angry. That's not easy. But
Channelizing that energy to some constructive use.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree. So any other thoughts before we wrap up? Gopikant, hello. How are you? Paula?
Good, Sanjeev. Good session. I'm here with my wife as well. She joined and she heard about it. So excellent session as always. So we'll try to be regulars, So.
Oh, absolutely. Welcome. I think I'll have to remind Pant. He used to join from Goa very regularly. Then his schedule changed, and he,
Yeah.
that things happen. So, what's your name of your wife?
Sushila.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is My name is Sushila. Nice to meet you.
Nice to have you here. It's a Satsang family anytime, one thing I learned from, people, I've been talking about people I have known and respected through Satsang. It was phenomenal. Like, sitting here in Oakton, Virginia, how many people come and visit me? I would say about 10 people on average was visit my father in Jaipur. Like, that was normal. Guru Maharaj, like, he had like this, all his sessions were like free and open. Join in. So it was like, but then he basically, his guru told, Lalaji Maharaj, his instruction or directive was just, be respectful and be, uh, it's like your family, just extended family. So that's how he treated everyone. So welcome. Glad that you're here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah.
So any thoughts, questions, comments? Not that I sometimes feel after meditation, quiet is what I would like to have, but then, just my thinking is the interactive session also is just part of absorbing that energy that we just imbibed and embodied.
Absolutely. I think this, like anything else, this also takes a lot of practice. We're just getting started. We've been thinking about this and talking about this for quite some time. We said, okay, let's put this to practice, right? We read a number of books and all of that. I mean, your mind does wander into even small things, not necessarily worries or anything, but, it just wanders, it takes practice to rein it in and then, focus on that one thing, right? So you can achieve a
So,
better state.
so actually, somewhere I think I have a video where I talk about transition in and transition out.
Mhm.
How does 15-minute meditation become a 2-hour affair?
Mm.
And believe it or not, people meditate for longer periods, but actually, if you effectively meditate for 15 to 20 minutes morning and evening, I mean, you will transform your life. Now, the problem is that because we are caught up in so many things,
Yeah.
how do I switch? Right? It's like so many things are running. How would I switch?
Yeah.
So even that is part of this practice. There is a transition in.
Right.
So when you talk about what is satsang, talk about the leaders in satsang, talk about the concepts, etc. What happens is that you are now in, you're now changed your focus a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Then traditionally there were prayers. We converted that into music. But so when you recite prayers, now that activity, like mantras, like chorus, like, even songs, uh, they catch hold of your, wandering mind a little bit, right? Music always helps. So
Yep.
music was always integral to meditation. So now, so you have to have some transition. What helps tremendously is that if you have a place and time, I mean, again, Guru Maharaj said you can sit anytime, meditate when you get time, because he kind of fine-tuned it for people who are very busy.
Mm.
But still, as a best practice, if you have a place, if you have time, we're creatures of habit. So you will see, and I can guarantee that you sit in one place and do meditation for a few weeks.
Mhm.
When you will sit there, you will see a different vibration, different aura almost, and you will get into deeper states in that place. But what I mean, flip side is that these days, you're traveling, there is so much going on, and so that used to be the older ways of doing things. These days, it's like find some time,
Mhm.
connect with yourself, ground yourself through this practice. So,
Thanks for the tip, about the place. We'll try that at least when we are at home, right? So yeah.
yeah. No, actually, I have, see, when I travel, so I've been to, all these places throughout the world, and you go to a church, you go to a mosque, you go to a temple, monasteries.
Mhm.
What you will find is that when you close your eyes and try to meditate every place has its own vibe
Mm.
and depth. And I'm telling you, it's like you can see how deep the practice of the founders or the practitioners in that place was just by doing that. So, literally, if there are places where the founder or people who practice there were really, really deep, you will see that vibration.
Sure.
So, yeah, and you can create that environment for yourself too. Yeah. I mean, interestingly, the higher states that you get to, if you do it again and again, the I think a few sessions back, we were talking about neural pathways and neural highways. So, like any habit, when first it is a connection, then it becomes a pathway, then it becomes a highway. So practice makes that highway.
Sure.
You just boom. Yeah. All right. Any other thought from anyone else before we wrap up for today? It's a great session. Really feeling relaxed and energized. So thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. And the link remains the same. And so Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern and Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. So see you all soon. Glad that we were here in Satsang. Light, love, and peace be with you. Take care. Bye now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, Paula.